To the tracks. Where's my car? Where's my car? Where's my truck? Where's my truck?
Where's the next one?
Go, go, go.
And you know, realistically, of course, he won the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. I think he's leading those points now after 2 races. Now, I know we're only 2 weeks in the season, but realistically, he could leave here leading the points in all 3 series, the Nationwide Series, the Truck Series, as well as the Sprint Cup Series.
Don't think anybody's ever done that.
Nope. I know it hadn't.
Krista.
Well, we are just hanging out down here on the track, and I mean literally just kind of hanging out down here, sitting down here with Jay Guarneri and Mark Martin and Martin Truex, and these guys are discussing the track, so I'm going to kind of just worm my way in here. All right, guys, how is it out there?
I'm loving it. I just, we need to run a while and get some rubber down. I think our car's going to get better the longer the race goes. We've got a lot of racing to do yet, so I'm pretty encouraged. It's a struggle right now because the car's pretty free, but it's turning great. And I think over the long haul, it'll pay off for us. Any concern with that water kind of seeping up there in 3 and 4, Martin?
Well, it's bad when you hit it, I can tell you that. I hit it a few times and had my hands full, but fortunately we were able to stay out of that wreck. I was real close to getting in it. I'm not sure how I made it through, but the car's pretty good, pretty happy with it. It was real nice at the start of the race and got in the water a little, lost some spots, but I feel like we're gonna have something here as the track goes. As we get some green flag running, get some rubber down, get the track cleaned up. It's just real hard right now. You really had to hit your marks. You miss it by 6-8 inches and you get in that water and it was ugly. So we'll get the track fixed up. We'll go racing and hopefully have a good day.
All right, that's Martin Truex, Mark Martin. Mike?
Thanks, Krista. Slip sliding away on a kind of damp racetrack has given us 1 caution flag and a red flag. And 4 cars under repair in the garage. We'll be right back with NASCAR on Fox.
Under a red flag here at the Auto Club 500 in Fontana, California. 21 laps in, and the incident here, 4 cars involved. Casey Mears, and then in the 77 car, Sam Hornish Jr. into him, bringing out the flames. Reed Sorensen and Dale Earnhardt Jr., their cars also involved. Drivers all okay. With Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers here at the Hollywood Hotel. That's why, part of the reason why we have the break in the action. We got a late start because of rain, and then there's some spots on the track.
You got weepers.
They're trying. I thought that was you when you didn't get your way.
No, that's you. That's the same thing.
That's the water seeping through it. You see they're trying to figure out a way to cut it so they can drain. Now, Friday night they had this problem, right, with through the practice session,
right,
and they thought they'd corrected the problem.
Yeah, they thought they had it cured. I mean, they actually dug up part of the racetrack down there and did some work on it. But, again, we've had a lot of water fall on this racetrack in the last few days, and it's really underneath this track, and it's starting again. Put a little bit of pressure on it, and everything else kind of, adds up, and it starts finding a way back out. And unfortunately, it's, stopped the race at this moment, and they're working on it to try to make things safe for the guys. But, Chris, as far as the crew chief and the driver, this is the hardest thing you can do is just start and stop. Start and stop. I don't care what they say. You get out of your rhythm. You get out of your little mindset. Now you've got to get everybody, like you see Greg and Tony sitting there talking. There's Chad Canals talking to Steve Letarte. You can share information, but, you need to get these drivers kind of like back on track, and that sometimes can be difficult.
All right, one of those guys sitting waiting it out, Jeff Gordon, and he is standing by with our Matt Yoka. Matt?
Chris, this situation reminds me of a couple years ago at Martinsville. You and I had a conversation when Mike Helton and track officials were pulling out some concrete to do some repairing. A little bit different that day, though, compared to this day.
Yeah, I still have the front end on my car, and I'm a lot happier right now. I hate that the weather's kind of put us in this position. Our DuPont Chevrolet is awesome, so we're having a lot of fun out there, and just really proud of Steve Letarte and all these guys for giving me that good of a race car. So we obviously didn't want to see it stop or anything happen, and glad Casey Mears and those guys are all right. That was pretty wild and crazy. I just saw it on the video there, but it did seem like it was getting a little bit worse, the water seepage, and so they're doing the right thing. We'll see what happens.
Now, Friday, you went out in one of the pace cars and checked out the racetrack when they had a weeper problem then. Is this issue in the same area that we had the issues on Friday?
Yeah, it's just a little bit more. We've had a lot of rain over the last 24 hours, and so I think that it's a little bit worse right now. I really thought once we got the race going that it might actually, with all the cars and the heat and the track temperature coming up, maybe it might slow down, but it did start getting a little bit worse there at both ends of the racetrack. So right now, when we came in here, it was the best that I'd seen it all day. But, if that's something that's going to reoccur and come back, they got to get it fixed.
And the rocket ship?
The rocket ship, that's exactly what it is today. You know, I think some guys are being a little cautious with, you know, you had to be real precise in your lines. You had to either run the bottom or the middle. You had to go around the water. So, yeah, I think with the temperatures, I think guys are holding back a little bit, especially my teammate back there. So we're having fun, you know, and when you got a car that good, you want to get up there and lead and see what it's got, and we'll see what happens. But if it stays anything like this, we got something for him.
Jeff Gordon chasing that 4th win here in California. Steve?
Matt with his teammate Jimmy Johnson, who got his very first Cup win here and won here in September. You know, Jimmy, we're asking all the guys, I mean, what is the condition of the racetrack from your point of view from that race car?
Well, it's tough to see the wet spots, but you know when you drive over the top of them. I noticed some stuff on both ends of the track before the race started. And went to green, it seemed like we were okay, but I'm sure on a restart, as everybody is getting up to speed and trying to be aggressive and make positions up at the start of a run, that once you cross over that paving seam, you get on the water and you just lose control of the car. The track looks better now as we came into park on pit road than it did before we started the race. So I think things are going in the right direction, but it's unfortunate we lost a bunch of cars in the process.
Your pit stall is way on down that way, but towards turn 1. But I got to tell you, it's a little bit of a media circus down there. Tom Cruise is in the pits. What's he doing?
He's enjoying some racing. He and Rick worked together and got to know each other really well through the Days of Thunder experience. I had a chance to spend some time with him recently, and after a few minutes of hanging out with him, I could see that look in his eye, that you see in somebody that loves racing and has been inside the seat before. And I'm glad to see him out. Glad to see him at the racetrack and having some fun hanging out with Mr. Hendrick.
Cole Trickle making a comeback.
That's true.
Let's go to Dick Berggren.
With Jeff Burton, who is currently running 9th. Your take on what's going on out there on the racetrack?
I just feel bad for the racetrack. I mean, they've had no luck whatsoever this weekend and doing all they can. 1 and 2 looks pretty good, but 3 and 4 was wet when we first started, and you could kind of sort of run around it, but I think it's gotten worse as the day's gone on, and I think this red flag, it seemed like it got worse, and it got longer and bigger. So I don't know. They'll keep digging. They'll get it. We'll be here for a while, but they'll get it.
Okay, thank you. Matt?
Checking in with his teammate Kevin Harvick, who almost won this race 1 year ago. Well, we've got 21 laps in the books. How would you describe your day so far?
It's been pretty eventful. We got a bunch of trash on the grill there, and our Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet is really, really fast, and just had to come in and pit right there.
All right, looking at the racetrack as far as the weepers, did you basically choose the high side or low side trying to dodge?
Well, I mean, the racetrack really wasn't ready to start with. There was water running out of the track down in 3 and 4, and I think a lot of them were telling Matt, and just it's worse now than it was then. So just a little bit wet.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
No problem.
Let's go to Chris Devoda.
And we're down here on the grid, and Jamie McMurray is going to get his helmet out for us because he is very proud of this helmet. So, Jamie, what do you want to show us here?
Well, Nick Pastura paints all my helmets, and I'm pretty hard on him because I always want something cool and something different. And, we've incorporated all the autism puzzle pieces in the background, and it's something very special for me. Every time I get in the car, I'm reminded not only of the foundation that we have, but also of my family because I'm affected by that personally. So it's something that I'm proud of, and I think it's cool. And your helmet is your identity when you're in the car, and it's more so maybe for the guys in the open wheel because that's what you see. But I think even for for the NASCAR guys, it's important to have a cool helmet.
Are you proud of me? Because look, I've got my puzzle piece on. Did you see that?
You have your puzzle piece on every week.
I know I do.
Artie Kempner is a good teacher, good instructor at helping create awareness for autism, so that's cool.
We also want to show you have, of course, on the car you have the autismspeaks.org. And another charity that you guys were helping out this week, you saved some space on your car for Dress for Success. There's a couple of ladies here who are part of that program. It was their first time on an airplane, first time at a NASCAR race. What do you think they're experiencing right now?
Well, I hope they get to experience some more racing, but I did get to meet the girls in the Crown Royal suite today, and they seemed a little bit overwhelmed. And when I walked in, I didn't know the whole story initially, and I'm like, have you guys been to a race? And they're like, no, never. And I'm like, well, you're going to have a great time today. The Crown has a beautiful suite up there, so they've got the VIP treatment all week.
Thanks, Jamie. Chris?
All right, thank you, Krista. Jamie, talking about Artie Kempner, our esteemed director. calling all the shots to bring you the pictures today. And we hope to go racing once again. Jimmy Johnson, by the way, did lead a lap, so it's the 11th straight race that Johnson has led his the longest streak of his career so far, and Jeff Gordon currently leading at the time.
Well, this here is definitely good news right now. If you saw Buster Alt standing on the track a minute ago, NASCAR official, I think he's telling these guys it looks like they got their job completed, and he's getting ready to wrap everything up. So may get a chance to go back racing here.
Is that Buster right there?
That's Buster right there.
I wouldn't want
NASCAR
to mess with Buster.
No.
All right, we'll continue NASCAR on Fox. We're only 21 laps in. We have a long way to go, but we're getting ready to go racing again here in California.